Pwede na? Okay, good morning. We now call this meeting to order for the pre-bid conference of 6 projects published last March 27 to April 2, 2024. But before we proceed, may I ask the back secretariat to check the attendance and determine quorum.
Good morning po. We would like to acknowledge the presence of the following members of the BAC. We have Engineer Maria Cristina E. Tacardon, the BAC Chairperson, Ms. Grace B. Chua, the BAC Vice Chairman, Engineer John Jeric H. Cruz, BAC Member, Engineer Jaime P. Bakiran, another BAC Member, and Engineer Loreto C. Balenia Jr., another BAC member. And for the BAC provisional members, we have Engineer Darius M. Mercado and Engineer Kevin Filipino. For the BAC Secretariat, we have Engineer Elmer G. Silao, Engineer Charlotte B. Diaz, and yours truly, Ms. Aikmay R. Laput. From the BAC Technical Working Group, we have Engineer Donita Rose S.T. Bang and Mr. Randolph E. Aquino. That is our attendance for today, Madam Chairperson. Yes, ma'am. With 4 regular members and 2 provisional members, we have 5 regular members and 2 provisional members. We have a quorum for today's pre-bid conference. Thank you.
Thank you, Backsec. So, with the quorum, we now proceed with the pre-bid conference proper. For our agenda, we will be discussing first the brief basic contractual data. And then afterwards, Engineer Kevin Filipino will discuss the requirements of bidding documents, the documents to be submitted by the contractors, timelines, and afterwards, the questions and comments from the bidders. We'll start with brief basic contractual data. So for our first project, ID number 24OI0082, Rehabilitation of Daang Road, Southbound, Las Piñas City, duration of 120 calendar days, ABC of 34,649,983 pesos and 36 centavos. The major work category for this project is traffic engineering and management system, including road safety devices. Next project, ID number 24OI0091, construction of multipurpose building, St. Dominic at Barangay Elias, Aldana, LasPinas City. Duration for this project is 90 calendar days and ABC of 3,464,844 pesos and 14 centavos. The major work category is buildings, construction without piles, low-rise concrete frame 1 to 5 stories. Next project, ID number 24OI0092, Rehabilitation of Multipurpose Building, Santos Village 3, Barangay Zapote, Las City. Duration of 120 calendar days with an ABC of 3,959,995 pesos and 90 centavos. Major work category, buildings, construction without piles, low-rise concrete frame 1 to 5 stories. Next project, ID number 24OI0093, Rehabilitation of Drainage System, Bernabe, Barangay Pulanglupa 1, LasPinas City. Duration, 120 calendar days. ABC, 5,939,174 pesos and 19 centavos. Major work category, flood control, construction, drainage, closed and open conduits. Next project, ID number 24OI0094. Repair, maintenance of DOJ building, Bureau of Corrections, New Bilibid Prison, Corrections Training Institute, Poblacion, Muntinlupa City. Duration of 60 calendar days. ABC, 2,200,000 pesos only. 2,200,000 pesos only. Major work categories, buildings, repair. The last project, ID number 24OI0095, repair, maintenance of DSWD buildings, Haven for Children, Kamagong Cottage, Alabang, Zapote Road, and Haven for Women, Daycare Cottage, Filinvest Avenue, Alabang, Muntinlupa City. Duration is 30 calendar days. ABC, 1,999,999 pesos and 48 centavos. Major work category.
Here are the requirements of bidding documents. For the technical documents, the following must be submitted. PhilJobs Certificate of Registration and Membership based on GPPB Resolution Number 15-2021. If not yet enrolled in the CWA, the following must be submitted: PCAB license and registration, statement of all ongoing government and private contracts, SLCC, NFCC computation, statement of total assets and total liabilities, and joint venture agreement if applicable. Next is bid security, using Form DPWH Infra 10, 11, or 12 revised. For the project requirements, the following must be submitted: duly initialed organizational chart for the contract using Form DPWH Infra 13, duly initialed contractors list of key personnel for the contract using Form DPWH Infra 14, duly initialed list of contractors' major equipment using Form DPWH Infra 15, and sworn statement under RA 9184-IRR Section 25.2B using Form DPWH Infra 16 revised. And for the additional requirement, preliminary examination of technical proposal form or checklist. For the financial documents, the following must be included in the bid: duly signed bid form, duly signed bid prices in the bill of quantities using forms DPWH Infra 17 and 18, duly initial detailed estimates including a summary sheet indicating the unit prices of construction materials, labor rates, and equipment rentals used, duly initial cash flow by quarter using form DPWH Infra 19, and for the additional requirement, the preliminary examination of financial documents form or checklist. For the documents to be submitted by the contractor, the bidding requirements. The bidding for the project shall be governed by all the provisions of RA number 9184 and its 2016 revised IRR, including its generic procurement manual and associated policies, rules, and regulations as the primary source thereof, while the herein clauses shall serve as a secondary source thereof. Any amendments made to the IRR and other GPPB issuances shall be applicable only to the ongoing posting, advertisement, or invitation to bid by the BAC through the issuance of a supplemental or bid bulletin. The bidder, by the act of submitting its bid, shall be deemed to have inspected the site, determined the general characteristics of the contracted works and the conditions for this project, such as the location and the nature of the work, climatic conditions, transportation facilities, nature and condition of the terrain, geological conditions of the site, communication facilities, requirements, location, and availability of construction aggregates and other materials, labor, water, electric power, and access roads, and other factors that may affect the cost, duration, and execution or implementation of the contract, project, or work, and examine all instructions, forms, terms, and project requirements in the bidding documents. The eligible bidders. Only bids of bidders found to be legally, technically, and financially capable will be evaluated. The bidder must have an experience of having completed the single largest completed contract that is similar to this project, equivalent to at least 50% of the ABC adjusted, if necessary, by the bidder to current prices using the PSA CTI, except under conditions provided for in Section 23.4.2.4 of the 2016 revised IRR of RA number 9184. Contract is considered to be similar to the contract to be bid if it has the major categories of work stated in the BDS. The bidder shall comply with the eligibility criteria under Section 23.4.2 of the 2016 IRR of RA number 91 for the clarification and amendment of bidding documents. Prospective bidders may request for clarification on and/or interpretation of any part of the bidding documents. Such requests must be in writing and received by the procuring entity, either at its given address or through electronic mail indicated in the IB at 10 calendar days before the deadline set for the submission and receipt of bids. For the documents comprising the bid, eligibility, and technical components, the first envelope shall contain the eligibility and technical documents of the bid, as specified in Section 9, Checklist of Technical and Financial Documents. A valid PCAB license is required, and in case of joint ventures, a valid special PCAB license and registration for the type and cost of the contract for this project. Any additional type of contractor license or permit shall be indicated in the BDS. A list of contractors' key personnel, example project manager, project engineers, materials engineer, safety officer, and foreman, a, assigned to the contract to be bid, with their complete qualification and experience data shall be provided. These key personnel must meet the required minimum years of experience set in the BDS. A list of contractors' major equipment units, which are owned, leased, and/or under purchase agreements, supported by proof of ownership or certification of availability of equipment from the equipment lessor or vendor for the duration of the project, as the case may be, must meet the minimum requirements for the contract set in the BDS. For the documents comprising the bid, financial component. The second bid envelope shall contain the financial documents for the bid as specified in Section 9, checklist of technical and financial documents. Any bid exceeding the ABC indicated in paragraph 1 of the IB shall not be accepted. For the bid security, the bidder shall submit a bid securing declaration or any form of bid security in the amount indicated in the BDS, which shall be not less than the percentage of the ABC in accordance with the schedule in the BDS. The bid and bid security shall be valid 120 calendar days after opening of bids. Any bid not accompanied by an acceptable bid security shall be rejected by the procuring entity as non-responsive. For the sealing and marking of bids, each bidder shall submit one copy of the first and second components of its bid. The procuring entity may request additional hard copies and/or electronic copies of the bid. However, failure of the bidders to comply with the said request shall not be a ground for disqualification. If the procuring entity allows the submission of bids through online submission to the given website or any other electronic means, the bidder shall submit an electronic copy of its bid. An electronic copy that cannot be opened or is corrupted shall be considered non-responsive and thus automatically disqualified. For the opening and preliminary examination of bids, the bank shall open the bids in the public at the time, on the date, and at the place specified in paragraph 9 of the IB. The bidders' representatives who are present shall sign a register evidencing their attendance. In case the bids cannot be opened as scheduled due to justifiable reasons, their scheduling requirements under Section 29 of the 2016 revised IRR of RA number 9184 shall prevail. Section 30 of the 2016 revised IRR of RA number 9184 shall govern the preliminary examination of bids. For the detailed evaluation and comparison of bids, the procuring entity's back shall immediately conduct a detailed evaluation of all bids rated pass using non-discretionary pass or fail criteria. The back shall consider the conditions in the evaluation of bids under Section 32.2 of 2016 revised IRR of RA number 9184. Section 32.2.1 of the 2016 revised IRR of RA number 9184 states that the BAC shall immediately conduct a detailed evaluation of all bids using non-discretionary criteria and considering the following: completeness of the bid. Unless the instructions to bidders specifically allow partial bids, bids not addressing or providing all of the required items in the bidding documents, including, where applicable, bill of quantities, shall be considered non-responsive and thus automatically disqualified. In this regard, where a required item is provided but no price is indicated, the same shall be considered as non-responsive, but specifying a zero or a dash for the said item would mean that it is being offered for free to the government, except those required by law or regulations to be provided for. For the post-qualification, within an unextendable period of 5 calendar days from the receipt by the bidder of the notice from the back that is submitted the lowest calculated bid, the bidder shall submit its latest income and business tax returns, filed and paid through the BIR electronic filing and payment systems, and other appropriate licenses and permits required by law and stated in the BDS. For our timelines, the last day of clarification or query is on April 6, 2024, which is 10 days before the deadline of receipt of bid. For the deadline of receipt of bid, it's at 8 a.m. of April 16, 2024. And for the opening of bids, it's at 9 a.m. of April 16, 2024.
Thank you, Engineer Kevin. So we now open the session to questions and clarifications from the prospective bidders. May I ask the back secretariat to read questions generated online if there is any? Okay. So having no more questions, may I just remind everyone or the interested bidders that the opening of bids for this project is on April 16, 2024 at LPM DEO conference room via YouTube